Welcome to Cook with Joy. I'm Joy Kelly, and this is my YouTube cooking show, and it's my favorite cooking show. And I hope, if you've just started watching, that it becomes your favorite cooking show. And if you keep coming back week after week, it probably is your favorite cooking show. What we try to do on the show is show you healthful, yet totally delicious and pretty easy dishes to make that you can make right at home, that your family will love, that you'll fall in love with. And the dishes are not just that they're not bad for you, we try to have every ingredient actually be really good for you. The last thing is, you'll see that if I can do this, you can do it too.
Me? Talking to me?
Yeah, I'm talking to all of you. Today, we're gonna make a classic pasta e fagioli. Pasta with beans, with white beans specifically.
Sounds better in Italian.
Yeah, I wish I could speak better Italian, or I wish I knew some people that were Italian and they could come in and cook this with me. When we traveled in Italy, I loved having the pasta. It was fabulous, fabulous, fabulous. And I love pasta, but eating a gluten-free diet often has you substitute, like some prepackaged stuff. And there are some good ones out there. And I went to Google and I searched what are the best prepackaged pastas that are out there. And they didn't have them in my store. I found someone locally that makes gluten-free pasta. This is fresh pasta. Doesn't that look delicious? So this is what we're going to use today, along with some asparagus, some cherry tomatoes, and the Tuscan beans. And I'm using the Better Beans brand. I really like this brand. I like the story of the family. You can read more about them at betterbeans.com. Got a phenomenal story, and I like also that they've got a ton of recipes. And so I'm testing out one of their recipes today, and we'll see if we like it. So that's all the main dish is going to have, is the pasta, the asparagus, the cherry tomatoes, and the beans. Then we're going to make a pesto for the top of it. And pesto, you think, that's not dairy-free, that's not vegan. You can buy gluten-free pestos. I haven't found many vegan pestos. I'm sure they're out there. But we're going to make our own today using fresh basil, using garlic, using almonds, and a couple of other little things, some olive oil. So this recipe calls for starting the pasta first and then making the pesto. But gluten-free pasta that's fresh only takes about 2 minutes. So I've already got the water boiling, and I'm going to do the asparagus with it at the same time. I want to tell you just a couple things about making asparagus is that you should never cut asparagus. You always want to break it. Never want to use a knife on it. It makes the ends get bruised and bitter. This one's got a little bit of a missing tip. We're just going to break it. It calls for 5 stalks. Of course, I like to use more than that because I like asparagus. Asparagus is really great for you. It's known to be a mood enhancer, including an aphrodisiac, and you can kind of tell by the shape of it, yeah?
It's a little early for that.
That it would be an aphrodisiac. It also is great for your kidneys. It's high in vitamin K and folic acid, so it's really a power-packed veggie. And then, of course, tomatoes are going to be really high in vitamin C. It asks for 5 stalks, but I'm going to use a little bit more. These are small, and you want to get asparagus in the spring because that's when it's going to be the freshest. It's when it's little tiny. When it gets bigger, it's going to be a little bit woody tasting, and you're not going to like it as much.
Big woody stalks.
Big woody stalks.
That is an aphrodisiac.
That is. You also want to store asparagus upright in a little bit of water because that's going to keep it fresh longer. You don't want to wrap it in plastic and keep it in your refrigerator. I love asparagus, and we're going to cook this with the pasta today. So it's going to just take 1 pot to do that. But first, let's make the pesto. And all we're going to do is put these in my handy-dandy food processor. And no, Derek, this is not a new food processor.
It looks new.
It's not. So I've got 1.5 cups of basil. I've got 1/4 cup, give or take, of raw almonds. I don't know if that's true. No, I haven't used almonds in pesto before. It's usually pine nuts in pesto, but we're using almonds today. And then I'm also going to add 1/4 cup of olive oil.
Why are you measuring?
Because this has got to turn out right, and I'm following someone else's recipe, so I'm going to add a little bit extra. And then I'm also going to add 4 cloves of garlic. Now, personally, I would probably put more garlic in this, but because I haven't made this recipe before, I'm going to actually follow the recipe. I'm going to add a little bit of fresh pepper, and I'm also going to put a little bit of salt in with the pesto.
Sea salt?
Sea salt, yes, sir. And you could, if you wanted to, add a faux Parmesan to this if you wanted to have the flavor. There's a couple on the market. Whole Foods carries both of these. The Parma is made from nuts, so if you've got someone that is allergic to nuts, they probably don't want the Parmesan anyway. And the other one is made from soy. Some people have an issue with soy. That's a whole other conversation I'm not going to get into today. We can add a little bit of that to the pesto just so we get a little bit of that Parmesan flavor without having the actual cheese in it. So let's see if we can put the top on the food processor in one try. I did it. I'm getting really good at this. And then let's give that a quick pulse. Let me have a look at that. They say do it until it's smooth. And it's a little bit chunky, but I'm okay with that. Are you okay with that, Derek?
I like a little bit of chunky.
I think you'll like it. Now, I'm going to add the pasta to the boiling water, 2 to 3 quarts of boiling water. And it's only going to cook for 2 to 3 minutes. So it's really fast, and I'm going to put the asparagus right on top and cover it up. And I'm going to let it boil for 2 to 3 minutes. Let's give this another quick shot. Okay, perfect. I just want to give a little bit of a shout out to these Better Beans guys. Go to their website and check out their family story. They have a whole host of different beans, and I love, love, love them. They're all delicious. They usually have a coupon that you can download and get a better price on, but you can do something different with each one of their beans, and I love that they've got these recipes that we can follow. Beans are one of the best things that you can do for your diet. Beans and greens are the two things that as primates really keep us healthy. We need the folic acid and we need the fiber. And the more beans and the more greens that you can eat in your diet every day, the healthier you're going to be. So beans and greens, and maybe you'll fart a little bit, but you'll be much healthier for it. So let's see how the noodles...
every time I do that, I'm being healthy.
That's right. Let's see how the noodles are doing. Actually, I have an article on that about why farting is a healthful thing. So if you want that information, email me, ask me for it, and I'll send it to you. But let's check. You want it? You just want to put it on your back. You want to have a T-shirt made with it, right?
I want to put on business cards to explain what's going on.
All right, let's check on the noodles. I think they're going to be done. You don't want to overcook the noodles or the asparagus. And when I need my... I found those tongs. You hid them on me.
Did you say thongs?
No, tongs.
Oh, okay.
So we're going to take the asparagus out, and they asked for it to be cooked for 5 minutes. In my opinion, that would be far too long. The 2 minutes that we just did those is just perfect. I'm taking those out, and I love that I cooked them with the linguine because now I haven't lost any of the nutrient value from the asparagus. I've added a little bit of that flavor to the linguine, and I also didn't have to have another pot be washed. Now I'm tossing this pasta, and it's a little bit stuck together. This is the first time I've cooked this pasta, so I'm just going to give it a little shake. And you know, gluten-free pasta can be a little bit interesting. You definitely don't want to overcook it, and you definitely don't want to store it too long. Let's get that into the colander and drain it and rinse it. Okay, got that rinsed, and this looks really, really, really good. I mean, this looks like any self-respecting glutinous linguine. Look at that. Let me try it. Wow. That's nothing on it, and it's delicious. Do you want some of this?
I do.
You do? Okay, I'll make it.
Who's going to run the camera?
Well, I'll make it for you, and then we'll stop, and then you can have some, okay? And I think I'll dish some up for myself. This recipe calls for enough to make for 2 people.
And there's 2 of us here.
There's 2 of us here, but we've been eating. So I don't know. Let's see. I think that's enough. There's actually probably enough for 3 people, I think, here. And then next, what we're going to do is arrange the asparagus. Presentation is everything. And you know, I think I'm going to do these around the edges. They did it differently than this, but I'm using kind of a smaller bowl. So could have used a big white bowl, but I like how pasta looks. And this is kind of cool, actually. Look at this little circle thing I've got going on. I'm kind of fancy. It's kind of pretty. And then if you really want to get more asparagus in it, which, you know, is really where the power is packed, you just put one over the top. You could break them up into some little pieces and add to it. And there's definitely enough in the recipe that I made for 3 servings out of this. I've cut the cherry tomatoes in half, and I'm just going to add those to the top. Yum. Look at how beautiful this is. Oh my gosh. This shirt that I have on reminds me of Siena and the running of the horses where they have the flags. Have you ever seen that, Derek?
Never.
You haven't?
No.
Oh my gosh, it's so cool. You have to go to Siena to see these horses. It's really cool.
Can we do our next show in Siena?
That would be so fun. Oh my gosh, but we'd have to bring all this stuff. We're gonna add a scoop of the Tuscan beans. Now they don't call for this to be heated, so I'm gonna be really kind of curious to see if we like it not heated. That's gonna go in the center. A little bit more for this guy. Definitely enough for 3 servings. And then the final thing we're gonna do is add the pesto that we made. Oh wow, that's beautiful. Look at that.
Just a little chunky.
It's a little chunky, but I think you're gonna like it actually. I think it's gonna add texture to it. I think we're gonna like it this way, and it certainly smells delicious. I mean, what can go wrong with basil and garlic? Nothing. Nothing in my estimation. And there you have it. Oh my gosh, wow. Good looking recipe, Better Beans. I'm gonna taste this pesto really quick just to see what I think of an almond pesto. Yum.
Better than pine nuts?
It's really good. I like it with almonds, and it's kind of chunky. I added a little salt and pepper, which the recipe doesn't call for, and I also added that faux Parmesan, which I think makes a big difference. So Better Beans, I would add those 3 things to your recipe. But now the ultimate taste test will be, can I get my cameraman to get back to the camera after he tastes this? I think we definitely have a winner. Can you take a shot of these amazing looking dishes? This is pretty beautiful.
Presentation is everything.
It is, and we're gonna find out how good it is, and I'll post that on the website along with the recipe and some healthful hints. Remember, this recipe is not just beautiful, it's not just delicious, but it's super packed with stuff that's good for you and nothing that's bad for you. And that's the goal of every Cook with Joy episode that we have. I hope that you will tune in every week, share it with your friends, make the recipes, tell us your take on it. But I think we've got another winner in this season 2, and we're trying other people's recipes. I hope you enjoy it. I hope your family is doing great, and I hope that you come back and see us here on Cook with Joy.